This morning, Lynn found an article, and it was about first-time home buyers. Tell me about it.
This is really interesting. It's pretty eye-opening, but it came out of Fortune magazine in my news feed. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway and Zillow say mortgage rates cannot fall enough for Americans to afford a home. Everybody's on the sidelines right now waiting to get back to a 5%, a 4%, or even hopefully, or some are expecting a 3%, which is unlikely to happen. But under any circumstances, the challenge isn't going to be what is the rate, it's going to be the cost of the home. This article speaks to the fact that home ownership has become increasingly unaffordable because home prices have risen more than 50% since 2020. In some cases, it's even more than 50%. But rewind, I look back to a time that I was helping people buy homes in 2005, 2006, which was considered a pretty go-go time in our industry prior to the real estate crash in 2008. But rates were 6%, and a starter home was around $200,000. And I remember us going through a lot of West Bay estates. There was a lot of new home building activity up there. Home built houses were $200,000, and the mortgage payment, even at 6%, was running about $2,200, $2,250. The affordability level was very attractive to people with incomes that were plus or minus the $40,000 range, depending on how much debt they had. So those incomes haven't changed a whole lot since then. We're still working with a single person who's dealing with a $40,000 to $50,000 to maybe, if they're lucky, $60,000 affordability range in there. In today's range, if you were lucky, that same house might cost you a little bit north of $300,000. So that house has gone up over 50% since, let's just say 2010, somewhere in that range. That payment is going to be somewhere in the range of about $3,200, $3,300 per month. That's going to require an income of $60,000 or more. So that's going to take one person with a really good income or two people with more moderate incomes. Debt also plays a factor in that, but we're not going to mention that at this time. Point of all this is, that's eye-opening, is the expectations. The person who's looking to buy their first home in many cases thinks that their house ought to be $400,000, $500,000. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's almost new or brand new. It's got the stone, the bathrooms, the kitchen. Everything is just right. And location, of course. When in reality, to compromise for the income that you have now and go and become a homeowner, enjoy those benefits, build wealth, and as your income grows, then move to the more the nicer home, the dream home, if you will. So the question becomes, how do we channel expectations to introduce them to properties that are a more moderate price that works for their budget? That's about as simple as it gets.
Well, and we talked about perception, and we know that the younger generation is used to luxury apartments and used to spending
fine dining,
fine
coffee,
$8 to $10 a day on
craft hot cocktails.
Yes, so it's one of those things that if you really want to build wealth, you're going to have to adjust your lifestyle, not in every way, but at least moderate so that you can purchase a home and start to build wealth for your family. And in an ideal world, you keep that first house and you buy the next one when it's time to move up, when the family grows. So there's lots of opportunities out there. You just have to sometimes open your eyes to see them.
It takes a compromise.
Thank you.